All right, let's talk about something huge, marriage. But we're not going to look at it in the usual way. We're going to dive deep into what some of history's sharpest minds had to say about it. And let me tell you, it's probably not what you're expecting to hear. Everything you believe about love is a lie. Wow, I mean, that's a heck of an opening line, right? It's meant to shock you. But for philosophers like Friedrich Nietzsche, this wasn't just for shock value. They genuinely believed that we needed to wake up, to see that what we often call love is just a mask for something, well, something else entirely. And here it is, straight from Nietzsche himself. He says, marriage puts an end to many short follies with one long stupidity. Ouch. So for him, a typical marriage wasn't this beautiful, happy ending. No, it was the potential end of your individual greatness. It's a pretty harsh take, I know. So let's really dig in and figure out why he thought this. Okay, so here's the first big idea. For Nietzsche, the problem isn't necessarily having a partner. The problem is marriage as an institution. He saw it as society's favorite trap. You know, a clever way to take someone exceptional and, well, tame them, to make them predictable, safe, and ultimately useful to the group. Nietzsche had this incredible metaphor for it. Think of a wild stallion, powerful, free, carving its own path across the plains. That's the free individual. Now, think of a stabled horse. It's safe, sure. It gets fed, it's comfortable, but it's also caged. It's been broken. It serves a purpose that isn't its own anymore. That, for Nietzsche, is what conventional marriage does to the human spirit. And this all plugs right into his big idea of herd morality. You know that feeling, that deep pull to just fit in, to follow the crowd, do what's expected because it's safe? That's herd morality. And from this perspective, just getting married without really thinking about it, well, that's the ultimate act of following the herd. It's like you're willingly walking into that stable, locking the door behind you, and telling yourself, this is love. And that's the real struggle, isn't it? The individual versus the tribe. Society, the tribe, needs you to be a predictable cog in the machine, and Nietzsche's warning is that marriage is one of the tribe's most powerful tools. It doesn't use force. No, it's much smarter than that. It wraps conformity up in beautiful dresses and fancy parties and convinces you that giving up your freedom is actually a victory. So you might be asking, well, who actually resists this? Think about some of the people who literally reshaped our world. Isaac Newton, Nikola Tesla, Leonardo da Vinci. What do they have in common? They were all unmarried. They made a choice to pour all of their life's energy, not into a family, but into their work, into creating themselves. It really makes you wonder if there's a link between breaking the mold and changing the world. Okay, so we've talked about social pressure, but what if the trap isn't just outside of us? What if it's coded right into our DNA? That's where we bring in another philosopher, Arthur Schopenhauer. And his view is, well, it's even darker. He argued that our own biology is trying to hijack our dreams. Yeah, if you thought Nietzsche was cynical, wait till you hear Schopenhauer. You know that overwhelming, I can't live without you, head over heels feeling? For Schopenhauer, that's not some magic spiritual connection. It's a trick, a beautiful, incredibly powerful trick that your genes are playing on you, all to get you to do one thing, reproduce. It's just a program running in the background. He had a name for this force, the will to life. Think of it as this blind, relentless energy in nature that has only one goal: keep the species going. This will to life, it doesn't care one bit about your novel, your startup, or your personal happiness. All it wants is for you to make more humans. And it will build this incredible, breathtaking illusion we call romantic love just to make that happen. So what's the takeaway from all this? Schopenhauer puts it bluntly: a man can be himself only so long as he's alone. The moment you commit, your life is no longer just your own. Your obligations double, your freedom gets cut in half. You can't be purely you anymore because you're now serving this big biological and social mission that might have nothing to do with what you actually want out of life. Look, I know this is some heavy stuff. Is love really just a biological trick? Is that intense feeling we get just a program? Or is there something more, something real that Schopenhauer is totally missing? I'm honestly so curious to hear what you guys think about this. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. All right, we've looked at society, we've looked at biology. Now let's peel back one last final layer. We're going into existentialism. And from this angle, the real problem isn't out there. It's in here. It's our own deep, profound fear of being free. Jean-Paul Sartre famously said that we are condemned to be free, and he chose that word, condemned, very carefully. Think about it. Total freedom. No rule book, no pre-written script for your life. It sounds great, but it's also terrifying, right? We have to invent our own meaning, our own purpose from absolutely nothing, and the weight of that responsibility, it can be crushing. So, what do most of us do with this scary freedom? According to Sartre, we run away from it. We lie to ourselves. He called it bad faith. We pretend we don't have a choice. We hide inside these neat little boxes, these pre-made roles. You stop being a unique person and you become the husband or the wife. You just follow the script because, let's be honest, it's so much easier than writing your own. Another great existentialist, Albert Camus, had a name for this whole situation, the absurd. It's this clash between our desperate human need for meaning and a universe that just stares back in cold, silent indifference. For Camus, a truly heroic life isn't about escaping this reality by hiding in cozy social roles. No, the real rebellion is to look the absurd right in the eye and live freely and authentically anyway. A marriage you just fall into without thinking, well, that can be the exact opposite of rebellion. It can be an escape. And this all comes down to a gut-wrenching, real-life story from the philosopher Soren Kierkegaard. This man was deeply in love, he was engaged to be married, and he walked away. He broke it off. Why would he do that? Because he was terrified that stepping into the universal role of husband would completely destroy the unique, authentic individual that he felt he was born to be. So, where does all of this leave us? After all these heavy ideas, what's the bottom line? Well, these philosophers aren't giving us a simple yes or no. What they're doing is pointing to a fundamental choice, a huge fork in the road that every single one of us faces. On one side, you've got path 1, the universal. This is the paved highway. It's the life everyone expects you to live. It comes with safety, with everyone's approval, with comfort. Then there's path 2, the individual. This path is rocky. It's an overgrown trail you have to clear yourself. It's risky, it can be lonely, but it's the only path that leads to true, profound authenticity. So in the end, the real question these thinkers are pushing us to ask is marriage good or bad? The real question is, what do you want your life to be about? Are you trying to be a finished product, a destination defined by a role? Or are you a bridge, a process of becoming something more? Maybe, as Nietzsche hinted, the whole point of being human is found in that struggle, the struggle to constantly overcome who you are for the person you could become. This choice between the comfort of belonging and the challenge of becoming is one of the deepest questions we can ask ourselves. If this journey through these ideas has got you thinking, if it's challenged you even a little bit, then maybe you'll like what we do here. Consider subscribing to Mindscope Philosophy. We're all about diving into these big questions that can completely change the way you see everything.